U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has invited Theresa May to visit Washington in a phone call in which both stressed the importance of UK/US relations. Downing Street said Mr. Trump had spoken of his warmth and personal connections with the UK while Mrs. May congratulated him on his victory. Mr. Trump, whose mother was Scottish, said the UK was a very, very special place for me and for our country. The two shared a desire to strengthen bilateral trade and investment. Mr. Trump has contacted a number of world leaders in the wake of his surprise victory in the U.S. presidential race, including those of Egypt, Ireland, Mexico, Israel, Turkey, India, Japan, and South Korea. At a press conference for Chancellor Philip Hammond earlier, questions were asked about what it meant for the UK/US special relationship that Mrs. May had not yet spoken to the new president-elect. However, Downing Street confirmed that the two had since spoken and had agreed that the US-UK relationship was very important and very special and that building on this would be a priority for them both. President-elect Trump set out his close and personal connections with, and warmth for, the UK. He said he was confident that the special relationship would go from strength to strength. Stood together. It went on to say that Mrs. May had stressed her commitment to expanding the UK's relationships around the world following the Brexit vote and noted Mr. Trump's acceptance speech commitment to uniting people across America, something she said all politicians should focus on globally. The Prime Minister said that we have a long history of shared values and added that she looked forward to that continuing in the future. She highlighted her wish to strengthen bilateral trade and investment with the US as we leave the EU. But she said that our relationship is so much more than that and our two countries have always stood together as close allies when it counts the most. President-elect Trump strongly agreed and added that the UK is a very, very special place for me and for our country. Mr. Trump ended the call by inviting Mrs. May to visit him as soon as possible, Downing Street added. Earlier Mr. Hammond was asked what it meant for the US/UK special relationship that Mr. Trump had spoken to other world leaders before the UK's Prime Minister. He said, "The special relationship is alive and well and strong and deep. What's special about the special relationship between the UK and the US is that it is not a relationship between any two people or the holders of any two offices, it's a very deep relationship that works at many levels." He appeared not to know Mrs. May and Mr. Trump had already spoken when he told journalists, "I can tell you that the Prime Minister will be speaking to Mr. Trump later today. We don't have any urgent business that we need to transact." Former Conservative leader Ian Duncan Smith told BBC Two's Newsnight that he believed there was a real opportunity for the UK to reinvigorate its relationship with the US, arguing it had been in the freezer now for about 8 years. "I think there's a real opportunity with Donald Trump there for us to be able to reinvigorate that relationship. Brexit means we are now freer to make arrangements. He's already said he would want to see some kind of agreement with the UK and from that, we can build, whether it's NATO or whether it's global relations, whether it's about arguing over WTO and trade." Earlier, Conservative MP Jacob Rees-Mogg told the BBC's World at One he saw both Brexit and Mr. Trump's election as a triumph of optimism for people in America, who believe in the American dream and believed that the liberal elite were taking it away from them, while in the UK he believed it was about feeling that the UK could stand on its own 2 feet. But former Labour leader Ed Miliband said, "I think we should be deeply worried about the implications for many of the things that we care about, tackling climate change.